Is Friday, March 13th, 2026. So I played a lot of World of Warcraft back in college. In my junior and senior years, I may as well have majored in World of Warcraft. I graduated with a degree in computer science. Most of the science was what to grind for or how to go through dungeons and WoW. World of Warcraft, or WoW, is an MMO, or massively multiplayer online game, and you generally play as a persistent character in this fictional world with other real people who also prefer or preferred, when I was playing, to spend copious amounts of time inside in front of a screen in a fictional world. The initial appeal of a game like WoW is that it's a massive world to explore, and it's fairly easy to do so. You're generally adventuring around from area to area, keeping or helping NPCs or non player characters with the quests that they've been written to lead you into or progress, or engaging in other activities like working with or against other players in dungeons or mock battles or what have you. What really keeps you in it, though, are the other real people. It is highly encouraged when playing this sort of game to join a guild or a clan, depending on what you're playing, to have a consistent cast of other people to chat with, either in text through the game or through voice chat. We used applications like TeamSpeak or Ventrilo to voice chat then. Today, those have been largely replaced with Discord. Back then, I did raiding, which was getting groups of 10, 25, or even 40 people together to take on some giant sprawling dungeon full of boss monsters that required both coordination and scheduling to get the right group together and mobilized and, well, coordinated enough to defeat these encounters. To this day, I still have close friendships with the same people that I played WoW with back in college around 2007 or 2008. I've had the opportunity to meet several of them in real life, largely because I traveled across the country for work in my first 10 years or so on the job doing healthcare consulting. We don't play WoW together anymore. I mean, some of them still do play WoW, but I do not. I have sworn it off given so many other things and games to play. But I'll still pop on into their voice channel like we're all 20 again, and I own the place and try to goad them into playing something else that we all like to play together. There's at least a handful of games that fit that description. Back in my junior year, I also had a roommate who also played World of Warcraft, but we had come up in the game in different factions, Alliance versus Horde. We were both playing quite a bit, and I think the group I was playing with was fun, but not really coordinated enough to take on some of the harder challenges that I wanted to. And at the time, there was not an easy way to get a character from one faction over to the other. You couldn't take your progression with you, and it took a very long time to get a new character up to the end game things that I was interested in joining in on. So I ended up making a character on my roommate's server in Alliance and leveling it up from the very beginning up to the max level. I think was 70 at the time in about a month, which at the time was not an easy or quick thing to do. It was probably like 40 hours a week in game while I was also a full-time student and working a part-time job. By that time that character was leveled up, I was so burnt out in the game that I just didn't want to play it anymore or have at least any aspirations at that serious end game stuff that I had originally made the character try to go do. I did end up playing the game on and off for several years after that, but more casually, mostly just seeing what they would release in the new expansions they'd put out every couple of years. I swore off, in particular, scheduling my time around a game or that game. I think rating was fun because of the coordination it required, but having that time blocked out on my calendar is just not something that worked well for me, and it was an important boundary for me to set. Anecdotally, my roommate, who I was trying to play with then, did meet his wife, who he has been married to for, what's that, 18 years, through his WoW guild while we were living together. Anyway, all of this came top of mind for me today because Lex Fridman put up an interview with Jeff Kaplan, who was one of the more influential designers and leaders for the development of both World of Warcraft and later Overwatch. I am about 4 hours into the interview so far, and I still have about an hour and a half to go. But I have been having a blast listening to Jeff's side of things, especially kind of given his side of his career so far, especially through the early days at Blizzard and the creation of World of Warcraft. I know that the climax of the story of this interview is likely yet to come. I know that Jeff was pushed out of Blizzard for not monetizing the game Overwatch to his parent company's liking. But even though parts of his story before that do resonate with me quite a bit, having been so involved in these games that he helped create at such a pivotal part of my life. It wasn't for everyone. I think most American college students did quite a bit more drinking or partying in their time at a post secondary education institution, but I still have fond memories of just drinking too much Mountain Dew, sitting in Ventrilo with my buddies from around the country, coordinating tricky fights against dragons on the internet.